How many has not heard Khrushchev a few years back when he said, "We will bury you"? Communism intends to control our land, to control our children, to control our homes. And they have a plan whereby they say, "We will do it in 15 minutes' time." Do you realize that right now in America, there are more communists than there were when they took over Russia? Already in America, more communists than when they took over the country of Russia. And you need to see that attitude toward your children and your church and your home is quite different toward that which you have. You love your children. You want to see them brought up in a Christian home, but they're not the communists. They intend to take your children away from you. If you will not teach them about God now, the communists will take them completely away from you. Dr. W.A. Criswell, in his latest book, said that in the country of Russia, in the streets of every city, can be seen bands of little kindergarten children holding each child, holding on to the clothing of the youngster in front of him as they cross the intersection. Why were these children holding on to each other instead of their mothers? Because they were taken from their mother's laps, taken away from their mother's arms. I heard Richard Rembrandt, who has been in communist prison for 14 years in Romania, he said that in January 1968, the Russians were still taking children away from mamas and daddies for no other reason than that these mothers and daddies were teaching their boys and girls about Jesus Christ. Parents were hauled in court and told, if you do not stop teaching your children about God and about Jesus, we will take them from you. You must decide whether you'll have God or whether you'll have your children. What kind of decision would you have made? Would you have turned God down or would you have turned your children down? And they say, we intend to make atheists out of them. We intend to take all faith away from them. And as far as teaching them character and morals, they do not intend to do so. In fact, boys and girls sleep together. They have no scruples about that. The only they let the boys and girls sleep together for breeding purposes. They find a nice-looking young man and a nice-looking young lady, and they breed them so that the offspring may be raised up in communist camps. And they take boys and girls 5, 10, 11, 12 years of age. They put guns in their hands, and they put them in charge of the country and say, any adult that gets in your way, you gun them down. And right now, night after night, for 30 to 40 minutes at a time, your boys and girls watch 3 or 4 murders every 30 minutes on your television program. They are right now being trained to be murderers within the next 3 or 4 years. And when the communists take them over, they won't give them toy pistols. They'll give them real guns and say, shoot down anybody that stands in your way. When they took over Red China and they executed people by the scores in the mass murder, they would take boys and girls 4 and 5 years of age, and they were on the platform when these killings took place, and they had these boys and girls a white tunic placed over the boy that runs out first, or the girl, and gets blood all over his tunic and comes back to the platform first. We will give you a prize. And at the crack of the pistol, when the victims fell, those little 4 and 5-year-old boys and girls ran out there, dipped their hands in their blood, and came back in order to get their prize. Ladies and gentlemen, the communists have said, we will destroy all teaching about God in your children. They don't care what happens to people above 30 years of age. They only want those under 30. They say we probably can't change those above 30, but we will take the children. They give them candy. They treat them nice. They tell them that's what Marx did for you, not Jesus. That's what communism did for you. My friend, what will you do when the communists run your children down? Not only that, in behalf of your marriage, they are not interested in you and your husband living together. Communism says when we take over America, all such thing as family life shall be destroyed. The statement by Karl Marx is as follows: the Burgos family will vanish as a matter of course when its complement capitalism vanishes, and both will vanish with the vanishing of capitalism. When they take over America, they'll separate you from your wife 1,000 or 1,500 miles away. They say, don't worry about it though. We will give you another woman. We'll give you another man. They have no respect for the home. When the communists take over America, there'll be no quiet evenings left at home. You'll not watch television 4 or 5 hours a night, but you'll be in concentration camps where you'll be required many times all night long. Listen to the brainwashing as they try to get you to become a communist. Listen to what they did in 1919. A Russian general by the name of Voroshilov persuaded 11,000 Tsarist officers at Kiev to surrender by promising them that if they surrendered, they, their wives, and their families would be permitted to return to their homes. When they surrendered, he executed 11,000 officers and all male children, and took their wives and daughters and sent them into the brothels for the use of the Red Army. The treatment they received there was such that none lived 3 months. That's what the communists intend to do to your wives and your husbands when they take over America.
Mobile Unit 3. Hello, this is Mobile Unit 3. This is Mobile Unit...
All right, go ahead. You're on.
Unit 3. I'm out here at Hillside Cemetery covering a funeral. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. You won't believe this, but the hearse, the family car, and minister have already arrived, the gravesite, and in the process of carrying the casket from the hearse, the pallbearers apparently dropped it. The lid flew open, and there was nobody. Most of the pallbearers seem to have just disappeared. There's hardly anyone here now. The minister and most of the family are gone. The other cars haven't arrived yet, and looking down the hill to the road, there seems to have been some sort of large accident. There's a huge traffic jam blocking the cemetery entrance. I just can't understand what's happening. I can see graves ripped open all around me. Oh, it looks as if they have exploded from the inside. That's all I can say. I just don't understand. That's all I can say. I don't understand what's going on.